Hey guys, welcome to Higher Points. Today we have a couple guests on. We got Myriek, dad of two, husband, football player, and we have Eli with us too. Nick's son.
That one guy. You're just supposed to know.
That one guy, Eli.
Everybody that listens to the podcast has heard me talk about you like a million times. So
they know Eli.
Yeah.
Yep.
So.
Okay.
And the reason that we have them together is because like Eli, like kind of really gravitated towards Myriek when they were working together at Hood Construction. And so like when we were going to have Myriek on, Nate was like, "What do you think Eli would want to come on?" And I was like, "Yeah, I bet he would." And then I asked him and he was like, "Yeah." And then he was kind of like, "I don't know." And then it was like, "Yeah," and so, just kind of some of their experiences together as well as their life experiences. And that's kind of where we usually start.
Yeah. These guys were the A-team mowers last summer for Hood Construction.
Well, Myriek was, Eli was the B team. But.
I mean, yeah.
They had Jansen on the team too. I don't think Jansen really did much.
Jansen gave orders, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He ain't get no damn.
So Myriek, so it's Myriek Goodwin-Lagree, right?
Yes.
And so I guess we basically just kind of start in. Have you ever listened to the podcast before?
I listened to the last one with the mailman. What's his name?
Dallas.
Yeah. Dallas. Brianna was listening to that the other day when we were in the car.
Yeah. So basically, we just kind of start from the beginning. I mean, just kind of tell us like where you grew up, like your brothers, sisters, mom, dad, like anything you're just kind of cool, comfortable sharing, like from your childhood to like just building up through school to where you are now. So.
Yeah. So I was born in Colorado Springs, basically there for my whole 18 years until I got to college. Mom had me in high school, probably senior year. Walked across the stage with me. Dad was in college. My mom and my dad broke up before they were born, but fun fact, my dad's Korean. My mom's black, so I'm half Korean. Well, probably like 25, maybe something Korean. And my mom's black, so I'm black and Korean, which is cool. So basically, growing up, it wasn't really like, tough, but I had a pretty good life. My mom had a great support system. Grandma and grandpa's played a big role in my life. My grandma on my mom's side and my grandpa on my dad's side really came in and helped my parents out as far as raising me, getting me the stuff I needed. But I was basically like, I'm like the third oldest out of like 30 grandkids, so everybody looked up to me, but we was always running around up at grandma's house.
You hear that? That's the grandpa I want to be. I want to have 30 grandkids. Take notes.
It's more boys, so we was definitely rough housing and being crazy, jumping off of couches in the backyard and making mud pies, WWE, slamming each other off the couch, just your common boy family. But
it sounds like my family growing up too.
Yeah, it's
lots of cousins.
The barbecues is great every Saturday. The grandmas and grandpas and aunties and uncles get together, come in playing spades, drinking a little bit, having a good time. And when you're with the cousins, you don't know what's gonna happen. So it was definitely an adventure. So middle school, I went to Watson, and that's when I really got into sports. Probably middle school. I played basketball kind of first, and then I was like switching between basketball and football. But I got really good at basketball, and then I got really good at football, and then it was just I was doing that most of my childhood. But
would you say football's your favorite still, or is basketball right up there with it?
I do both. I was good at both, but I chose football because, of course, I'm like 5'6", 6'5" in my brain. But I was like, I'd probably be better at football, but I was really good at both. But yeah, I chose the football route. So on my mom's side, I got two little brothers, Jamel and CJ. CJ's 18, 19, just graduated high school, and they're both like 6'2", 6'3", so I got the short end of the stick, but we all have different dads, so that was different. Jamel, he's just turned 21, so he graduated a year after me. Then on my dad's side, I got like, I don't know, I can't even count on my hands how many sisters I got. Probably 4 or 5 sisters, and so I was switching back and forth between mom and dad. But it was good. There was no beef or nothing like that. Probably when I was little, but I was probably too young to remember. But other than that, it was pretty good. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
All right, Eli, it's your turn.
Let's hear your story.
Yeah, we got
Okay.
Where'd you grow up?
Well,
What's your favorite sport?
well, I'd say probably lifting. I don't know. Like, it used to be baseball, but I played that for about 8 or 9 years. And then kind of like once I got into high school, I didn't really like it anymore because of the people that were on the team.
And it's tough, like with baseball in Sterling.
Yeah,
you got to
because
travel.
we don't have very many. Because we had to go to Lions and things like that. And then my dad kind of introduced me in lifting. I got pretty good at that. And then
You're all right.
yeah, I guess.
Hey, I was telling Myriek on the way here, like, this dude has to be shooting up trends somewhere because, like, I don't see him work out very often, but then he goes to the gym and he's just, like, stronger each time.
No,
Like, how are you doing this?
He's 14 years old and can deadlift over 400 pounds.
Yeah, almost 500.
Yeah.
485 was his last pull. You know, he can't bend over and pick up a quarter, but
Can't touch his
he has-
toes.
yeah, he has-
I'm
he
more
has-
flexible
no
now. I guess.
he has no flexibility. But
No, I'm getting better.
so, you want to go back and kind of tell the story about, like, you know, how I came into your life and all that other kind of stuff for those that maybe haven't listened to the podcast and stuff?
I don't really know how to like say that or like start it.
No, you'd say, like, my mom was pregnant with me when mom and dad got together.
Okay. So I guess really my dad, Nick, he's been in my life my whole life. My bio dad, he really like didn't come into my life around until I was like around 11 or 12.
Then I had two annoying siblings, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, and then I live with my 2 siblings, and then I have 5 more, and with my bio dad, and
They're all in Wichita, right?
yeah.
And what are their names?
So they're all D's. So the oldest,
That's crazy.
that's Deshaun. He's 18.
They're all younger than... Okay. never mind.
Yeah. And then the Quan, he's 16. And then Desmond, he is around 5 or 6, I think. And then we have Donovan, and then he's like 5 or 6. And then honestly, I think Desmond is probably like 8 or 9. And then we have Dorian, he's like 2. So
Big
All
family.
over the
Yeah.
place.
Big family.
it's
Yeah,
crazy.
And your bio dad's name is,
Thomas.
and he's married too.
Lavina.
Yeah. And he works at Cargill,
Yeah.
right? And
Yeah.
like he has like rental properties and Airbnbs and stuff like that.
Yeah. He
And,
really
you
just
know-
got into that.
And how has it been having him back in your life?
Honestly, it's like I kind of had a part of me that was missing kind of like come back to me, I guess.
Nice.
Like I felt like I was missing something, and then once I really started to like talk to him, like I guess a piece of me came back. I don't really know how to say that, but
Were you nervous in the beginning?
oh yeah,
What were you thinking?
like is he gonna stay? Is he gonna leave again? Am I gonna be good enough for him? Things like that. But honestly, it was better than I thought it was, and he's like,
It was kind of rocky in the beginning for a little bit.
yeah, and,
But, you know, you guys ended up having a conversation when you went on that walk. And
oh yeah,
what,
oh, yeah.
you know, are you cool talking about that, or you just want to like,
Yeah.
Like, so what did he ask you when you went on the walk?
Honestly, he said he wanted to be in my life. He said he might not be able to replace the way you kind of like raised me and taught me. But he said he wanted to be there for me, and that he wanted to be like my best friend, I guess. And we'd hang out almost every month and things like that. So just get to know each other. But
Cool.
really, it's just that. And then, but yeah, he said he was glad that I accepted him back into my life, and then that I was willing to go down this road, I guess. So.
And then kind of the last thing, and then I'll get back to Myriek, is like, has your life always been easy, peaches and cream?
No.
No. What kind of struggles have you had?
Well, I guess one of the biggest things is depression. That's one thing I probably struggled with a lot. And then obviously school. And
Math in particular.
Then, yeah, math.
That's everybody.
Yeah. Depression's everybody too. Everybody
Yeah.
battles that
Nowadays too,
Just in-
especially with COVID and things like that. So.
just in different ways.
I didn't have any problems with math. You guys are dumb.
Shut up.
But other than that, yeah.
Okay, so kind of back to you when you said your mom and dad split up, Myriek, in the beginning. So, I mean, did you always kind of live in a single parent house, like one way or the other, or like how'd that work?
So my mom, shout out to moms, love you, mom. Mom was a trooper, with a lot of help from my grandma. Mom, single mom, 3 kids. Probably she had 3 kids by the time she was like 23, 24, 25. But we're all like 2 years apart, so she had me when she was
So you just followed in mom's footsteps.
basically. She said she couldn't get mad at me, so why not? But
don't worry, we'll get to that.
so basically we moved houses a lot. My mom always fought to have our own space, get us the house, get us the clothes we want, but we were always in our own house, time to move out, can't do it right now, got to move back with grandma. Oh, we can get a house again, trying to get a house, move back with grandma. But she did all she could for the longest time, and now probably when I got 8th grade, she finally finds the guy of her dreams. Shout out to my step pops, Chris. He came in and he changed our life for the better. Mom was driving a little hoop-de-doop car, came in, he got her new car right away, and then I was like, Mom, who's this dude? Because I was so protective. Me being the oldest in the house and 2 little brothers, I'm the man of the house. Ain't no other dudes supposed to be coming up here. Ain't no other dudes supposed to be coming up here telling my brothers what to do, telling me what to do at that. You know what I'm saying? So that was a crazy transition for me. And so then I'm like, okay.
You guys butt heads a little bit at first.
Oh yeah, we definitely butted heads at first.
You and I have never done that, right, Eli?
Multiple times.
We butted heads a lot, only because it was like, he was this, huge dude. He's like 6'2", probably jacked military dude. I'm just like, I don't care how big you are, man. You're not finna. I'm like, what, 14, 15? I'm like, you're not finna come in here and tell my brothers what to do. I don't even know you, dude. You know what I'm saying? But the first time we met him, he took us like laser tag, like out. I don't even know if this was in Colorado. We were like outside, basically playing Call of Duty with laser tag in the woods. I was like, okay, you cool for now. You still, got some work to do. But
So from the beginning, he was like invested in you guys.
yeah, well, my mom told him, you got to hang up with the boys first. If you don't vibe with the boys and the boys ain't feeling you, you got to go.
Yeah.
So basically,
Like good on her, man. Good on her.
She wasn't.
I bet he was nervous,
Oh.
shaking in his boots when the
Had
first
to
time
be.
he was coming to hang out.
Had to be nervous. And then that was a good day. We ended up getting mom flowers. Then after that, he moved in. It just happened so fast, but they loved each other. They've been through a lot, you know what I'm saying? And now they're really successful. Mom went back to college. He got deployed probably a year into their marriage or 2. Mom went back to college, got her registered medical assistant. Well, she's the head medical assistant where she's at right now at Pima.
What a registered medical assistants do?
Like room people, give shots, they can basically do everything a nurse can, just not with the label. Did probably small clinics, not in hospitals.
Got you.
Basically same thing. But she's actually in school right now getting that. So basically she's getting her doctorate or master's, something like that.
Yeah.
To be an RN.
Yeah, to be an RN. So she just don't stop grinding. She
Either like what a BSN or an MRN or whatever they call that.
yeah. So basically she just grinded her whole life basically since I was born. She just hasn't stopped. But now they're pretty successful.
What about your dad?
My
Sorry,
dad.
you were going to talk about your. I
Yeah.
thought you were done. Go ahead and talk about your stepdad.
No, so my stepdad, he just retired from the military probably 2-3 years ago, and they just refinanced their house and stuff. And well, he's actually the reason why I was able to go to college and have it basically free, because the military, I got a GI Bill, so I'll forever be thankful for him for that, because I'm not even his kid. He doesn't have any kids. So for him to just, here, you can have this,
Man, I
just
wish
go to college.
I didn't have student loans for sure.
So
man.
basically, I got a little bit, but it's not like crazy, like you know what I'm saying? Because the first 4 years was free. I'm in my 5th year, basically now. So
For the love of the game.
but yeah, basically,
Well, I guess I'm going ahead of myself a little bit, but how do you still have like eligibility? Like, how's that work?
eligibility
Because of COVID?
Well, so my first year I redshirted, and then so that didn't count, and then I played my sophomore year. My sophomore year I was a freshman. Junior year I was a sophomore. This year I was a redshirt junior. So yeah,
Oh, okay.
So you technically have one more year then.
probably, but
There you go. You can be a 6-year senior.
we're good on that. But
So what about your biological father? Like, what's he up to?
my dad, I love the guy, but he's been with my grandpa at my grandpa's house he's been in my grandpa's house most of his life since I was born. He really hasn't. He's been he has a lot of kids, which is basically a problem. Baby mama drama, him on child support. It's hard for him to get on his feet when he got so many kids paying child support.
Yep.
So he's kind of struggling, but now he's in a better place now. He has a good job. He got himself on tiles in Colorado Springs. It's crazy cold. He's everywhere in Colorado Springs doing that. And so, yeah.
Was he remarried at all?
No, he is in a relationship though.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, shout out. But my dad, when we were younger, he was basically like my best friend too, kind of how your dad is trying to come in your life and be your best friend. But you know what I'm saying? Like he took me to all my AAU tournaments, at every basketball game, didn't miss one. Like he's like the dude in the stands, like you probably gonna have to kick out for getting too loud and cussing out the refs. So everybody knew who my dad was in the basketball games. He'd just be like, yeah, Myriek, don't stop, do everything. He would say that, and everybody was like, oh, this Myriek, da. He's kind of like famous because his personality, he was just crazy supportive.
If I did that to Eli, he would like have one hand over his eyes, like, I don't know that guy.
Nah,
Like,
sometimes
who
like
that?
I liked it, but I'd be like, Dad, chill. Like you
So
gonna
it'd be
get
too
you gonna
much,
get
yeah.
kicked out the gym. Like I'm about to drop maybe 16, 20 points off the bench. Calm down. Like, do you want to see it or not?
My grandma was a little bit that way too.
Yeah.
It was kind of a shocker. Like she was a substitute teacher.
Is this Grandma
at
Hyatt?
Alderson.
Alderson? Oh.
Sweet old lady, and she was one of the loudest yellers. Like you never see that side of her until she's at a sporting event, and I didn't notice it till after I graduated and went back and watched my cousins play, and she's up there yelling and getting on the refs and just getting after it up there, and it cracked me up, man.
Yeah, he was crazy supportive. He couldn't provide for me a lot, but he was there when I needed him to be. But so me and my dad have always had a good relationship. Love my dad. So yeah.
Well, you talked very highly of your grandparents. You want to talk about them and give a shout out to them too?
Man, my OGs, yeah. So I'll talk about my grandma first. Grandma was sleeping with me on the floor when I was born. In the crib. She basically is like the rock on the mom's side of my family. Like she's like the centerpiece. Like anybody needs something, she's there. You need money, she's there. You need somewhere to stay, she's there. Like what she does now, she's a host home care provider. It started when her mom had diabetes and she got both her legs amputated. Somehow, I was like 2, but somehow I just remember her putting me on the bed with her mom, and she's in basically a hospital bed in her house, and she's amputated, and she just basically, almost done with life. You know what I'm saying? And so she's been doing that ever since, and she's like she is just this caregiver. Like she just like doesn't stop. Like anybody, like she would take anybody off the street that needed help, clothes, food. She's come on in, I'll take care of you. That's just how she always been. Some in our family is kind of like, dang, grandma, like we ain't gonna hang out with us because she's just taking care of people. She has she has autism. Her name is Sam. She takes care of her. She can't verbally speak, but she can make sounds, and she's had her for the longest, and she takes care of her, and that's basically her daughter. She's married to my grandpa-in-law, but I just call him grandpa because he's been around since probably I started going to elementary school, probably kindergarten, he would just take us to school and helped her with her support system and stuff like that with what she was doing. And so, yeah, she's basically like half my heart. My grandpa, on my dad's side, Carl Lagree, he basically he's still like, I feel like he's like one of my, like, God put him on this earth to like watch over me type person. Like, every time I see him, he'll just slide me like an amount of money. I don't never know what it is. It's like you spin the wheel and to see how much money you get, and whatever you get is how much money, like he just took care of me, because my dad, sometimes he just couldn't. So my grandpa would just step in and be like, I got it. Like, and still to this day, like I'm like 10 years old, he'll still hand me $100. I'm like, Grandpa, I don't need it. One time I said I don't need it, he said, you disrespecting me if you don't take it. I said, oh, my fault. And that's the only time he ever got like buck with you. But yeah, like it was just, he's kind of like my angel. Like at the right time, he'll send me some money and I wouldn't even know it. So yeah, I love him so much. Yeah, when he passes, when they both pass, I'll be devastated. But they definitely left their mark on me for sure.
So how about Eli? How about you? Some of the family that you met, like explain some of them. Like you got to meet your grandma, like Thomas's
my grandma.
Thomas's grandma, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, that basically raised him. So talk about that a little bit.
So really, Thomas was saying that like his parents weren't really in his life as much, kind of like I am, I guess. But like my grandma Opal, she raised Thomas ever since like the middle school or something like that. I don't really know much about Thomas's actual like biological parents.
Yeah, he didn't know much either, because we were asking him about, like, one of the nice things that when we met him was like every time we went to the so here's how inculcated Elijah is into my life. Like I've never seen him as anything other than my son. So we took him in to get like an umbilical hernia surgery, and they asked Andrea, because Andrea's obviously bio mom, like medical history, family medical history, and everything like that, and she was done. And they were like, and then I was like, yeah, nothing on my side. And like the doctor like stops writing, and he's like somebody's gonna tell this dude, right? Like he knows, right? Like, and I was like, oh, my bad. I was like, he's just my son, you know. Like you know, and we weren't able to answer those questions. So when I first met him, I was like, can I ask you a really weird question? He's like, what's up? And I'm like, what's like family medical history on your side? So like next time we go to the doctor, I can answer these questions. And he's like, honestly, like, I can't really tell you, because he's like, I don't know. But, so speaking of Grandma Opal, right? Mm-hmm. Is she the one that had the thrift shop?
Yeah.
So she's always been a business owner, right?
Yeah.
You think that's where Thomas got it?
Honestly, yeah. Like, I think really sometimes like we go down to her thrift shop, and then he'd ask Grandma Opal, he'd ask Grandma Opal some like questions about that, and honestly, really, Thomas probably just gets it from YouTube. But yeah, like she's not very good at like keeping her store clean. But I mean, yeah, it's thriving. So
yeah. What about your uncles? You talk about your uncles a lot.
Yeah, I still haven't been around them enough to remember their names. Like I can see their faces in my head, but
you had a bunch of people to meet and remember.
Oh yeah, like it's a big family, especially like the barbecues, things like that. There's like 100 people or more, and it's hard to like remember their names too.
Dude, that's crazy. And like when my family gets together, there's like 4 people, man.
Hey, them black folk barbecues. Everybody, some people down the street, the neighbors gonna be there. You don't even know who gonna pull up.
And what you got any like stories of cousins or uncles, or like he was saying when the cousins are around, it gets crazy or anything like that?
Yeah, they are crazy.
That for sure.
They like weed. They like their weed too. But, but yeah, they're big on football too. But like a question that always asks me, do you play football? Do you wrestle? Like, no, sorry. And then they get all disappointed, things like that.
Because you're humongous.
Yeah, and what shoe size you are.
Yeah, what shoe size
87.
I wear.
Speaking of that, to paint the picture for anybody that's listening, like how tall are you, how much you weigh, and what's your shoe size?
So I'm 6'3". I guess
probably about 6'6" with the hair.
Yeah, 6'6" with the hair. I wear 267. I wear size 17 shoe.
That's great.
And
and how old are you again?
I'm 14.
There you go.
Almost 15, but
that's ridiculous.
If we're talking mentally, he's like 7. But.
Yeah.
So Myriek, so like when you go, what kind of made you choose Sterling College?
Basically, I was just like, it basically was kind of like my only offer. I mean, I went to a couple of visits, like some couple of D2, D1 visits, but they were like, they were like, yeah, he's really short in person. I didn't on film. He looks a little bit taller because he's running fast, but in person, I was like, like when I got to Sterling, I was like, I grew actually when I got to college. I'm not tall still, but I grew. I was like, I think I was like 5'5", 5'6". Now I'm like 5'7", 5'8" almost. But yeah, I was really small, probably 135. Basically, I was just a fast dude that could just break you off and catch the ball.
Eli's like two of you.
Yeah, basically, but he's still little. But anyway, but yeah, it was just Sterling. It was my only opportunity. I was like, I'm gonna take it. My dream was to play college football, and nobody thought I can get here, and I'm here now.
So what
Did
was
you ever come out to Sterling beforehand? Was it sight
I did. Me and my wife came on a visit together, and I was just like, you know, this is my only effort. Why not? And so that was the thing. I mean, everything was good, and the community is really nice. Like small town was crazy. I'm like, because I'm from the city, Colorado Springs. Colorado Springs. Everybody in Kansas is like, oh my God, you're from Colorado Springs. It's so beautiful there. I'm like, yeah, I've been there my whole life. It's not that cool. The mountains, oh my God, the mountains and the weed, yeah, cool. But you know, I'm like, it was a small town. Like you only go that way 5 seconds. You can walk out the town. Basically, you can, you know what I'm saying?
especially at your house, you walk out of the town easily.
I can literally walk out the town now. But like, there's like one Sonic, and there's a freaking Subway, and then the Dollar General, nothing else. And so I'm like, dang, I can't go. I got to go 30 minutes away to get anything and everything I want, basically, or I got to online ship it here. Wait a week. So it was definitely a culture shock for me.
But
like,
what made you want to stay though? Like what?
Basically, I was there with my wife, so I was like, if I got her, you know what I'm saying, it kind of felt like home. But
when did you guys get married?
We got married 2021.
So this would have been after you came to Sterling College.
Yeah,
okay.
we weren't married. We were together, but we were already together like 2 years.
So your high school sweethearts then?
High school sweethearts, yeah, basically like 2 years before we came to Sterling. But yeah, Sterling is actually treated us well. I think God just placed me there just to grow. Really, I've really grown into a man in Sterling. Basically, I mean, I don't know.
You should see this guy working construction now. He's running framing crews.
Basically, you might as well. You know,
he's running that company, man.
Yeah, it's crazy. About to be up editor, but but anyway, yeah. God put me on this. Put me in this little town for some reason. I was like, at the time, I'm like, at first I was like excited, yeah, I get to play college football. But this time, when you're not playing college football, you're just like, what do you do? And I'm just like, well, why did God put me here? And he was starting, and I asked him that question. He just started showing me why he put me here, and my family's here now. And so it's good. It's good.
So you talk about how you like grew into a man, like, cause you know, it's kind of interesting that you are still in college. I mean, like, cause Milo's, how old's Milo?
Milo just turned 3.
So you've been a dad for 3 years, which means
3
like at the very beginning of your college career, basically
Sophomore year.
Yeah. So explain like that, like how did that come about?
So
you said it was a crazy story.
Crazy story. So, you know, me and Brianna get pregnant freshman year. We're both at Sterling at the time. But so we're like, dang. Well, I'm in math class. We both had that same math class that night. She's like, I'm not feeling well. I'm like, okay, so I'll go to class, and she just stays back in her dorm. She sends me basically a picture, like, you know, look at this be, you know, it's like six positive pregnancy tests. I'm like, first of all, I'm thinking, why 6? Why did she just didn't buy 2 of them?
Is hoping the 5th one would say negative, and she could be like,
enough? She was like, oh my God. But at first, my heart dropped down to my butt crack. I'm just like, dang, 6 of them? She pregnant? I'm I'm like, okay, I get up, get my stuff out of class. She lived in McCreary at the time, and I'm in, Thompson Hall upstairs in a math class. I don't even want to be in there anyway. Math class. I failed it. I didn't know I was in there. So basically, I run to her dorm. She's like, well, I'm like, well, what do we, what do we do? So I called my mom. Hey, Ma, Brianna's pregnant. She was like, okay, you know, you're at college, you know, playing football, you need to make better decisions, you know, typical thing parents say. But she's like, but can't be mad at you. I had you when I was before high school. I mean, you're in college, you know, we'll help you. She was mad. She didn't say it.
You could hear it in her voice.
Yeah, I could just hear it because of the tone. But she was like, you know, she was going to be there for me. And I think her mom was just out. And she was like, Brianna, you got to be kidding me. You're joking, right? Like, this is a joke. Like, this isn't. She's like, no, Mom, I'm not joking. She was like, oh my God. And then she hung up and then in shock. And then we called her back on the phone. And then after that, she goes home and she gets her RMA degree. And she's like, the time we were split, because I came back for that fall semester. So the time we were split, it was like the roughest time in our relationship, because I'm in Kansas, she's pregnant back in Colorado and in school, and so basically we're just butting heads every night on the phone. I'm like, so her emotions are literally up and down like a roller coaster, up and down.
As a pregnant woman always is.
Like, if I was there, it probably wouldn't be as bad, but because I was gone, it was more stress for her.
Well, when you say split, like, you guys didn't split like relationship wise.
No.
You were split distance wise. Okay,
like,
got you.
As soon as we decided we were going to be boyfriend and girlfriend, we were just attached to the hip, which is also a funny story how that became.
Go for it.
Actually. So, 2017, she's the manager of the basketball team. Like, she just becomes the manager of the basketball team. I'm like, we've been going to school together since like seventh grade. I'm like, and like on the last day of 7th grade, she comes up to me and like bites me on the shoulder and says "raw" and leaves. So she was weird. So I'm like, I would.
She's gonna love you telling that story.
And then she moves to another school. So I'm like, okay. And then we go to high school
together. Thank goodness
together.
that girl's gone.
Yeah. Literally on the last day of 7th grade, she just runs up to me, bites me on the shoulder. I'm like, that was weird. I literally remember telling my grandma in the car, like, this girl just bit me on the shoulder. Like, some girl. And my grandma was like, do I need to call to school? I was like, nah, I'm good. It's just a little slobber, but we're good. And so then I think junior year 2017, she became like the manager of the basketball team. I'm like, for some reason, she just became really attracted to me. She's really good looking, don't get me wrong, but like, I wasn't attracted to her like the years prior, so I'm like, this is weird. She's attracted to me, but I wasn't like diving in like, you know, she's cute. She was actually coming after me, which is like the first time. Like, usually, you know, when you in high school, you gotta, you know, get the number and do the work. Yo, what's up, girl? You know, can I get your Snap? Can I get your Instagram type stuff? But no, she was coming after me. So I'm like, this is weird. She's crazy. Let's calm down.
And she bit me in the shoulder.
Yeah.
I haven't forgotten about that.
So at the time, like, my ex-girlfriend who I dated came to the school we were at. So I'm like, you know, maybe, you know, me and her can work it out again, you know, since we at the same school, da. But
now I know where you get the da from.
And it wasn't working out at the time. So, and then Brianna texts her like, why are you wasting Myriek's time? You don't even want him. Da. I'm like, oh my God, she literally texts my ex arguing for me. Like, she really she's going to World War III for me right now. Like, this is crazy. So after that, I stopped messing with my ex, and Brianna and I just started talking. We talked for 4 months. Like, I took it slow as possible, because I'm like, I'm not the type of dude I wasn't the dude to be like, yeah, let's just date, you know, just because for some reason, like I always took it serious because of what I seen growing up. Like, my mom and my dad weren't together. Like, for some reason, it just clicked in me on a young age. Like, I'm gonna take relationship serious. Like, I want to see who you are. I don't care about your booty. I care about your personality. You know what I'm saying? And who you are as a person. So we talked for like 4 months, and then it's literally my birthday. and we go out with some friends. We're at Wingstop, and she's like, so are you gonna ask me to be your girlfriend? I was just like, you want to be my girlfriend? After that,
How romantic.
it was history. Yeah, it was history. But yeah, getting back to the college and how the boys came. So basically, I'm in my sophomore year while she's pregnant. She's back home. I booked the flight, like, assuming Milo would be born, like, a week early. He was supposed to be born on December 7th, but he ended up being born on November 29th, so I was right. He came a week early. I wanted him to be born anyway because my number is 11, and November is the 11th month, and March 11th is my mom's birthday, so that number just sticks with me all the time. I was actually supposed to be born on my mom's birthday, but I ended up drinking all the amniotic fluid, and so I'll have to be born a week early. March 3rd is coming up next Friday. Happy birthday to me. But yeah, so after that, yeah, it was crazy. But now I'm like, now I'm a dad, so now what do I do? So I make the decision to stay home next semester and do online. I'm like, I'm going to miss spring ball. Frick, who cares? So I'm basically...
This was during Rona too, right?
Yeah, so,
right.
But basically right after that, it worked out anyway because everybody got sent home for COVID. And so I'm like...
So this isn't the year you guys played games in the spring.
Yeah.
It was the year before that.
Yeah, it was the year before that where everybody got sent home.
After spring break.
Yeah. So I'm like, okay, this actually kind of worked out in my favor. Everybody's doing online now, so I'm not missing anything. This is good. And so, but I'm working at Walmart, which is the crazy experience. If you're in if you were in COVID and you were able to work, because a lot of businesses were out of business at the time, and you were able to work, it was probably the crazy experience of my life. Like working at Walmart, like there was literally no groceries on the shelves. And literally no toilet paper for weeks. I don't know how people was wiping their butts. Because we didn't have
homemade bidets.
On me. We didn't have toilet paper in Walmart for probably about a good 2-3 months. Like, people were, like, fighting for toilet. When you guys getting toilet paper? When you guys getting toilet paper? Like, I don't know. Get wipes. There's wipes, too. It's crazy. Like, I remember, because people were making their own, like hand sanitizer, so they needed alcohol. And so I used to stock like the soaps and like the vitamins and like the medicine and so literally before I'm taking this I was stocking the alcohol, and literally before I was taking out, somebody's like, this guy has alcohol, and everybody's running to me, let me get some, and these two ladies literally start fighting. I literally had to break up a fight over some alcohol so they can make their own sanitizer at Walmart.
You're talking like rubbing alcohol, like isopropyl alcohol?
Yes. Like the 90%, 100%, the 70% they got on the bottom shelf.
I wonder if those people look back and like knowing what we know now and like,
dude,
and they're like, God, I was a moron. Like I wonder if people do that.
That was
those assault charges were for nothing.
That was literally the craziest experience ever in my entire life working at Walmart during COVID.
It's wild because like around here, it didn't change our lifestyle a whole lot.
No.
I mean, like at school, for you it did.
Yeah.
But like at my job where I was working, driving a sprayer and a semi, like literally nothing changed for me. Dude. The only thing that changed is I had to wear a mask into Casey's, and that was like only when they told me to put one on.
Exactly. Yeah. But being in the city, you had to have masks or couldn't walk in the building. People arguing, why do I need to wear a mask? It's not real. Like, bro, being in the city was crazy.
And then the other side arguing, put your mask on, you're going to kill all of us.
Exactly. This guy doesn't have a mask on. Yeah, bro, it was literally so crazy. But then, after that, I was like, I knew I had to go back to school. I knew I had to get back to football because that was my dream goal. And of course, I'm the type of guy, if you start something, you got to finish it. Mm-hmm. You start something, you got to finish it. I started school, I started football, I got to finish it out. And so I managed to save up as much money as possible, and I got Milo, Brianna, and we bought some stuff, a bed and some dressers, and before we came down to Sterling and got in a U-Haul, her parents helped us get down here and bought in Sterling. I was like, yep, Because there was, like, no way I could, like, be without my son. Like, having him, like, in my hands right after he was born, it was just, like, love at first sight. Like, I came back right after to take my finals. He was born a week before finals. I was literally, that's really the only time I really felt depression in my life. Like, kind of, like, hard when I had to, like, leave him. Like, for, like, it was pretty much, like, 5 days before I literally had to go back and be with him forever. But I was like, bro, there's no way I can be with that. So right then and there, I made the decision.
Just wait till you send him off to college.
Oh my God. Well, I'll probably be cool by then. But
like, get out of my house.
Yeah. But at that time, I was like, yeah, I made the decision right there. I told Ethan Richardson, my best friend, my roommate, I was like, bro, next year, when we come back to school, Milo and Brianna going to be here with me too. We going to be living somewhere. And I made it happen, so.
So you and then one of the jobs, did you guys train? Sorry, that 75 hard or the phase 1 water hit me there. Did you guys talk about, while I was gone, did you guys talk about, like coming to Hood Construction and stuff? Or are you still talking about the Walmart and all that?
Just finished talking about Walmart.
Yeah.
So how did you come to work at like Hood Construction?
I just need a job. Basically.
Was Jansen already working there? Was he kind of your in
Jansen the one that put
Jansen,
you?
Yeah, Jansen, he was like coming to Hood Construction straight from Hood Construction straight to practice. I was like Hood Construction, because I would always see the signs. I'm like, Hood Construction? Like, what is that? Like, is that construction or like, what is it? Because like we're Sterling, I don't see much going on. Like, what is he doing? Like, he's like, yeah, it's construction. You know, we do stuff here and there. I was like, he was like, but they pay good. You know what I'm saying? You should get a job there. I was like, okay. The first time I reached out to him, he was like, do you have any experience? I said, no. He didn't text me back for like months. And then I'm like, all right. So basically, I started working at the apartments I'm living at doing maintenance. I only did that for a couple weeks. It's pretty nasty.
Got tired of that, huh?
Yeah.
Unclogging toilets?
Quickly. I was like, yeah, I'm not doing that. I'll just live off the stipend and whatever my wife's making at the time. And then that summer, he finally hit me back. He was like, hey, man, you know, I'm starting, you know, mowing. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, I need, you know, somebody to mow the lawns, stuff like that. We have a couple properties I just bought, the shop he's in now. And, you know, probably the Jefferson apartment. It's like, oh, I live there. Cool. You know, I can do that. I can mow. And then there's this dude. I walk in there. I'm thinking he's a grown man. This guy over here, Eli. I'm thinking I'm like, hey, there's a brother on the team. Dang. I was feeling good. I was like, dang, there's a brother on the team. You know what I'm saying? Nice. Next thing you know, he's like, yeah, you guys are going to be mowing together. I'm like, put the black people together. Nice. I'm like, okay.
And then he put Jansen in charge of you.
Yeah, and then he put Crazy Jansen. I'm like,
And then it all went to hell from there. No.
Yeah, almost. But yeah, that's basically what happened. I just needed a job, really. He finally hit me back. So yeah.
So what's your first recollection of Myriek?
He just honestly looked like a normal black dude when I first saw it.
What does an abnormal black dude look like?
I'm like, honestly, this is gonna be good. This is gonna be a long summer, but first thing we started out laughing. I don't know what at, and then I guess we became friends. Like
we bumped heads a little bit.
Yeah.
But
Don't worry, we're gonna get there.
But really, honestly, started out the first lawns. Hated weed eating. Got in trouble for that.
Oh my gosh.
A lot. But
my God.
I remember hearing about that.
Dude, if it's any consolation, like even when he was mowing on his own, we butted heads on weed eating.
Yeah, I don't know what about it. It just
hated it.
It just makes me mad. But I mean, I'm good at mowing too. So.
But what's interesting is he's like OCD about things. Like his hair's got to be right, his clothes got to be right, like his phone case got to be clean. Mm-hmm. Like everything in its place and a place for everything. And so I figure something like that detail work would be something that he liked, but it didn't jive.
Yeah.
Like, first of all, this guy's Mr. Know-It-All. I've been doing this. I've been doing this for a long time. Well, okay, why'd you doing it? You know what I'm saying? But most of the summer, it was fun just me and him. We basically put that whole shop together. That whole summer, we were building the shelves.
Yeah.
breaking all the wood in there. We basically moved Josh out of his garage into the shop, basically.
Mm-hmm. It was amazing all the stuff that was in that little garage.
Dude.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, how did all of this get in here?
You
First of all,
couldn't hardly walk in that thing sometimes because it
Yeah.
was just so full of leftover materials and everything.
it was basically like a summer project for us,
Yeah.
basically doing that. But we're just
So what did you guys butt heads on, Eli?
Well, obviously weed eating. I don't know.
It's like, I don't want to eat weed eat. You got to weed eat. I don't want
Yeah.
to weed eat.
Basically,
Neither of
like-
them wants. I want to sit on the mower all day.
I didn't. Well, we had like 2 mowers. Basically, we had like 2 mowers. The first one we had was like this little one. Basically, what's it called? The big dog? Is that what we
Yeah, it
called
was a big dog, and then there was also one that was like the X.
We
whatever,
called it
and then-
the X mark.
Yeah, the X mark. And then we like laugh about that, and then I'm like, yeah, you take the X mark, and then I'll take the big dog, and then
I hated that.
And then one of them like break down, and then you were using mine for a little
and
bit.
then and then Myriek called me one day, and he's like, guess what, Eli? We got a new mower, and he pissed on me, and then it was like this really cool, like really nice gray mower. He's like, this isn't yours, Eli. This is mine. I was stuck with a big dog the whole summer. And then I'm like, hey, can I take it out for a spin? He's like, no. And then I'm stuck in the big dog with the Jefferson Plaza. And then he's over here going like 30 mile an hour on the gray mower. And I'm over here going 10 mile an hour. And then like he was gone a week. And then I'm like, I can actually take the gray mower. And then I got out. I'm like, it wasn't like all that hype. I don't know. But it was nice. And
Yeah.
then
Myriek made it look cool because he was the one on it. That's why.
I know, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I know your beginnings at Hood Construction were pretty rocky, and actually the beginning and the end.
Yeah.
that summer.
I mean-
So can you kind of let's talk about that a little bit.
Well, honestly, getting the job was pretty easy. The interview with Josh was pretty chill. And then I don't really know. I think like we had some beef with like Jansen and things like that, and then we had it under control, like with like worth ethic, things like that. And then
We're here to have a conversation, not give the short version. What was the beef with Jansen?
honestly, I don't remember.
I remember.
I think.
I remember.
You remember. You just don't want to say it.
What was it?
Well, it was more the work ethic or something like that.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
and then I
Where
got-
you would say you'd done something, but you actually
Yeah.
didn't, and he was having to go back and fix it.
yeah, and then I got way better at that.
It's okay. I had to do the same thing for Jansen. So
But also, there was some issues with taking some accountability for things too that you had to
Yeah.
work through. Because
And then,
I remember like going to Nate, like you didn't know this, but I was going to Nate and I was like, hey, what about this, that, and the other? Because there was like one time that you were like, but you hadn't really known Myriek well at that point because Myriek was very new, and you were like, well, Myriek this, that, and the other. And so like I was like, all right, like I try to, but I don't take you just at your word. Like you know me, like if you're wrong, right.
Yeah.
But if you're right,
he
I'm
investigates for a living.
on your
so.
side, right?
Yeah.
But if you're right, I'm on your side, right?
Yeah.
So I went to Nate, and Nate was like, nah. He's like, Myriek ain't that dude. He's like, no. And so I was like, all right. And so then there was like a day that you guys, like, I guess Jansen was joking, and he said,
They call you dumbasses or
Or
something like that.
yeah.
and you did not take that well. And keeping in mind, you talked about your struggles earlier
Yeah,
with
and I
like
was
depression.
really
and
depressed
stuff.
at that time too, and
Boom.
So
trying to-
when he said that, how did it make you feel?
kind of I don't know, worthless, I guess. Which I was like a week then, like, and then I kind of went to my dad with it. I was crying, whatever, saying that he called me a dumbass or whatever, and then we got that with him. So
Yeah. Well, so how did we deal with that?
well, we went and we had like a talk, and then he's telling me things that I need to work on, and then I told him just don't do that again, and it was actually really good after that. So
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, and it was just, an interesting time to give Jansen some perspective on,
And it was
he was meaning it. I knowing Jansen. I mean, I
You
knew
just gotta
Jansen.
call him a dumbass back, basically.
Well,
You just gotta fight him.
I knew Jansen, and I knew
Yeah.
that, like, he wasn't being like rude or
Yeah.
mean or whatever. Like, he was just joking around and like saying things and stuff. But like, giving him the perspective of where you were at, your mental headspace.
And
That's
also-
kind of why I was there.
Yeah.
Because I don't really like being that whole like my kid can do no wrong. Like, he's the perfect. And like, so when we showed up, like when he started chewing your ass, what did I do?
I don't know, just kind of let him do it.
I did.
Yeah.
Because I mean there were things that you were struggling with, but you know, I kind of told him, I was like, Jansen, like, you're a supervisor now. I'm like, you can't be doing this. Like, you can't be saying that. Like, you literally made him, when you said that, he believed it, where he's at right now. And he was like,
and that was his first leadership position ever.
Yeah.
So he was learning as you were learning, and that.
Yeah.
Well, and I told him, I was like, you know, Eli looks like a grown man, but he's not.
Yeah.
Like his headspace ain't there.
I learned
at
that
all.
pretty quick too about him. I pick up stuff. Because I look at personality first, so I'm looking for anything and everything. But Eli, as far as his personality goes, I didn't know he was deep in the dumps at the time. So I'm like, after like that situation happened, I'm kind of hard on him too at the time, but I'm not calling him a dumbass. I'm talking to him, and so at the time he was like gone for a week. I'm like, where's Eli at? He was getting on my nerves a little bit at first, but I was like, where's Eli at? And then I found out, you know, he's going through some personal stuff. I don't know if you want to get into that, but he was going through some personal stuff, and then that's when I kind of like decided, like, hey, I'm gonna take this kid. I'm gonna put him under my wing a little bit, and you know, see if we can make a connection, get close, and see if he needs anything. You know, I'm gonna be here for him. Someone who actually can relate to him a little bit in other ways people in the town can't. And so I just figured that'd just be one of my responsibilities, not saying, oh, I'm gonna, you know, show you the way, but give him some insight and some necessities he can use to maybe in his brain.
Just guide him in the right direction.
Got him in the right direction to make him feel like, you know, there's more than just what other people think and what you think. What you think is how you're gonna respond. Your mind responds to your body and your feelings and your thoughts and stuff like that. So I just decided that right then and there after he told me that, I was like, well, you're gonna be with me all summer, so we might as well, you know, make a connection and get close.
Well, I'd say you definitely did. I mean, because like every single day he came home, your name was coming out of his mouth, like in one way or the other, you know.
Yeah.
Like in either advice or.
It's like I wanted to kill Myriek today.
Well, no, either in advice or just like funny things or you know whatever, you know, like, well, we went and did this, we went and did that, we mowed this, we mowed that, and you know, and so talk a little bit, Eli, about like how did that connection work out? Like, how did it make you feel? Like, why did you connect with Myriek so well?
Honestly, I don't know. Like, our sense of humor is kind of similar. I don't know. We laughed at some dumb stuff, and then nobody else thought it was funny. But
I'm not serious about anything. So,
and like, honestly, I think since we both worked the same thing, we understood like what the work was, and then once our work ethic got like way better. We kind of like related, and then
the work you guys were doing is not fun.
Yeah.
I mean, mowing in the heat,
Doing all the
like it's
grunt work,
miserable. And when you're
Covered in dirt.
friends and you're going through something miserable like that, it really brings you closer to it.
yeah, it was terrible.
And like when you see, let's say I see Myriek, he's kind of like mad or something. I try to make him laugh, or he tries to make me laugh, something like made the day better.
Yeah.
Like also when he asked, "Hey, what's wrong?" and then I told him, and it kind of like, yeah, Myriek's pretty cool. He asked like, "What's wrong?" and things like that. So
Yeah, and then but then you'd always bug me every time to bring you guys slushies and stuff. And,
Yeah,
that's the best part.
Hey, you was saving us on them 112 days.
Especially
man, those days were
12-degree days.
hot.
Yeah.
Man.
112, 113.
We were just begging to do something inside, but he had no inside at the time. So I'm like, where do we go?
Just for
Well, and then that one inside job you guys did get was
We did
pulling
not.
carpet out of that
Yeah.
house on
Gosh.
6th Street, and it was
And it
awful too.
And I'm like, can you bring us a fan? Or
So bringing a fan from my house to
Yeah.
like so they could use to like get some air movement in there.
yeah,
Dude, yeah, it was so hot.
or like the mopping job, or
Yeah.
I understand
Mopping
that.
job.
like when Slurp or Cash or whatever, he has us.
What'd you call him?
Oh my god!
Yeah,
I forgot about that. I thought we were still back on the slushy topic. Anyway, continue.
So-
Do you want me to? Anybody want me to add that on or just leave it?
You can just leave it.
Yes. All right. Go. All right. So
my
anyway,
bad.
What is it?
Slurp.
All right.
And so he has us mopping, and then he gave us like these spoodies, like, here you guys go, and then gives us like these little scrapes, get all these little tiny white dots off. Then there's like
you guys are mopping a floor in the new shop, right?
Yeah,
Or in
yeah.
the office area, or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Myriek's obviously got something to say about this.
And so he's like gives us these like really tiny like sponges or whatever, and then we got water, and I actually spilled like water, and then we were trying to get that out, and then mud. I'd go outside and bring mud back in, and then it was just crazy. And then we had our painters, and then Cash gave them like actual mops with like sticks on them and things like that, and it's just. But,
yeah, it was just a little situation we. I don't know. Should I
Do what?
get into it?
Yeah,
or-
Yeah,
You
go
can say
for it,
whatever
man.
you want.
This is your time.
At first, I was like, so that day, me and Eli are using a sponge and a mop to like clean the floor or something. I'm just like,
I know they were like brooms or something like that. We had brooms and
we had brooms to sweep because it was crazy dirt in there. But then after that, we were mopping with sponges. And it's like basically,
And there was
room-
oil spots on the floor
yeah.
and that kind
Yeah.
of stuff they were trying to get up.
Like you're talking like handheld sponges.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's handheld sponges,
for,
hands
like,
and
cars
knees,
stuff. Yeah.
scrubbing the floors and stuff like that. So we're like, oh my god, this is freaking weird. I did not want
At least that room was air conditioned at the time.
Yeah, at least it was. Yeah, god dang. And then anyway, the next day, me and him are working together, and he has to mop it again, but this time he has an actual mop. I'm like, where's this mop yesterday? When I was on our hands and knees. Like that was a little suspicious. That was a little suspicious to me. I was like, I don't know if I like dude like that, but he's all right. But at the time, me and I was like, yeah, that's a little suspicious. He got the mop and we got the sponges on our hands and knees. I was like, nah.
So you guys end up like going through the shit together and kind of getting your relationship. So like how do you feel like Myriek kind of helped you through everything you were dealing with at the time?
Honestly, I don't know. It just happened, I guess. Like,
It was God's timing, really. But like, he needed somebody. It was me. And then, like, we talked about a lot of stuff. I mean, Eli, like how he's kind of like one of the few black kids in his school, and how it's kind of like, you know, you don't see nobody like you. It's hard to relate to everybody when nobody really looks like you. Like, he's the only one with the nappy hair, the curly nappy hair. Yeah, but like our hair is nappy. Like, nobody really anybody has nappy.
and there was like, why'd your hair look like that? Or,
yeah, they don't know. So I'm like, because you're you.
Mhm.
You're black.
Yeah.
They're not going to understand. And so you can't try to make somebody understand that's never been in your shoes. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So we just got into a deep dive on, you know, kind of culture and stuff like that. And he asked me questions and I was just answering them. And so that's kind of also how we got really close.
So you said at a young age, Myriek, that you know, you kind of made the decision that you were going to take relationships seriously and everything like that. So how did that transition into like how you are as a parent and as a father?
Like, I knew like my kids was not gonna grow up in no one person household, not because it's hard. Like being a single mom or being a single dad. Like, I see what that looks like. That is not easy. And so I made the decision. I was like, I'm not here and fooling around. You know, we're not having sex. I don't want no booty pics. I don't want your Snapchat. You know what I'm saying? If we're going to be in a relationship, you know, the first red flag I see, you're cut off. You're cut off instantly. Anybody. It could have been a friendship, could have been a relationship, because of the way I seen my people around me. Like, my dad had relationship issues, baby mama drama. I was kind of sometimes in the middle of that. Like, I'm not doing that. That is a lot. My mom basically had relationships, you know, fail and stuff like that. I'm like, I don't want to do none of this. Like, for some reason, I was just wise enough to be like, that's not how you treat somebody. I don't want that for myself, you know. And then my uncles, you know, like, it was just relationships around me, just like
Learning from other people's mistakes.
I was just learning. I was just soaking in from other people. I was like, I'm not going to do that, not going to do that, not going to do that. I'm going to break the family chain, and be different. I was always different, and it just kind of stuck with me. I don't know.
Well, I know I've already told you this, but obviously everybody that's listening hasn't heard it. Like, I will say, watching Myriek's Instagram stories, especially when it comes to like him and his boys, like it just absolutely brightens my day. And it's also cool because, you're only 23 right now. You said, right?
Yeah, I'll
Or
be
24.
I'll be 23 in Friday. Yeah. Basically.
Yeah. So I mean, he's 23 years old, and like just seeing you step up into the father role, and just kill it, bro. Like you're just killing it, and providing for your family, going to school, still working out, and like watching you do like the footwork drills with your boys and stuff, and just like encouraging them, and then I kind of saw what Eli was seeing, I mean, because you were kind of stepping, I guess, into somewhat of a role model, fatherly role, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Like with him at Hood Construction. And so I was like, okay, that's what Eli saw. That's what he gravitated towards. But, you also said you would tell him straight too, like.
If anybody knows me, I'm not beating around the bush. Like, there's no point in me lying to you. There's no point in me I'm not your friend if I'm lying to you. I'm just not your friend. So there was just times where I'm like, Eli, bro, you gotta be better. You gotta want to eat weed eat so we can get about the heat, bro. Like you gotta, like you don't want to do it right now, but you gotta want to. Like he has the pool house.
It's got to get done eventually.
Yeah, we were at the pool house and we spent probably 75% of the summer at that house. We literally had to re-landscape the whole backyard basically. And so
I went in there and destroyed it with the mini.
Yeah, he went
steer.
Yeah, he went in there, took everything out, and then we had to rake it back up right where it's supposed to be.
You're welcome.
Yeah, thank you. No, really not, but you know what I'm saying. But after that, like it's hot. He doesn't want to do it. Like Eli, yeah, he looks like a grown man, but he is your typical, teenage.
Yeah, right.
I don't want to do this, man. It's hot, man. Can we take a break, man? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to. I'm like, Eli, we can take a break when we get done, okay?
I'm like, fine.
Yeah, he used to be like, can we go to Casey's and get a drink? He always want to go somewhere and get a drink and get a snack. And in the middle, I'm like, bro, we just got to get it done, bro. If we get it done now, bro, we won't have to come back here, even though we had to go back there like 50,000 times because
we'll be back here next week. But.
Yeah.
Within this day.
We'll be done with this specific thing right now. And so it was just not.
Who else did you hear that from?
You.
Yeah.
He picked up on it.
It doesn't matter what you say.
Yeah, that's true.
He knew it.
Dude, I'm telling you, I'm glad like people like Myriek and Thomas are in his life. Like just 100%.
Like he knew I wasn't a mean dude, but he knew when I started to get irritated. He knew when I was getting irritated.
Did he push your buttons more at that point?
No, because he kind of got irritated and he would get in his own head. I knew it, like, I wouldn't like push his button because I know where, like, his mindset can go from like, it's a good day, I'm with Myriek, we chilling, we laughing to this day sucks so so fast. So I was like, I ain't gonna harp on him, but if he keep doing it, he gonna get harped on. But he knew that once he got used to it. So I'm like, so I just be like, all right, Eli, let's pick it up. Let's get it done. And he picked it up.
So you guys got a tighter friendship there, going through that stuff together.
Yeah.
Like, how do you feel? It's been, because I mean, they always say like a common thing is like it takes a village to essentially like raise children, and so. The same thing has happened like with Myriek and Thomas and like you name it, Grandma Cindy, Grandpa, Grandma, like on both sides and everything.
Yeah.
So did you ever get to see like Myriek with his kids?
Yeah.
And what did you think of that?
Good.
See, these are usually how his and I's conversations go.
Yeah, it was good in a conversation.
But I mean, did you find it like, was it different from my parenting style?
Honestly, I don't really know. They're younger too, so that has something to do with it. And
I can tell you like when it was different because I always had unrealistic expectations for you, right? Like I was always pushing you to just be like straight A's and like do this right, do that right, and like I realized that was the wrong way to do things.
Yeah.
And then like watching Myriek. And this is not lost on me that you've made mistakes as a parent and you will continue to do so, but like watching him like with the kids of like the footwork, like good job, like dunk that, like shoot in, like just seeing you encourage, and like lift them up, like that was so different from my early parenting style. Because I told Eli like, dude, I'm sorry. You got like, I was learning everything with you. Yeah. I screwed so much stuff up and, you know, and paid the price with it for some of that stuff that you were going through. You know, I was the cause of some of that stuff from what you were telling me. But, you know, like I said, hopefully I've changed.
Oh, yeah.
And things are better. But, you know, and then people like Myriek kind of helping you fill in some of those gaps because I knew you had a lot of questions that I just couldn't answer. Has been cool. And that's why when Nate was like, do you think Eli would want to come on? Because he knew that you guys had like, you know, gotten together and had a really good friendship that I was like, yeah, you know, that'd be kind of a cool story to tell and have you guys on here. So I will tell you, like all fall, all winter, it's been like, I can't, like Myriek and I are going to do this, Myriek and I are going to do that. I can't wait to get back with Myriek and like, I can't wait to go, you know, all this other kind of stuff. So
yeah, it's going to be,
you guys are going to have to start your own mowing service or something.
Yeah,
now.
We were actually talking about that.
Bro, I just got to get a mower somehow. Might have to get a push joint, but.
I mean, we could start that way.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Or work for the little Hispanic dudes that be having yards crisp.
Javi,
Yeah,
Javi and his brothers.
Whatever they be doing, them yards be crisp.
Yeah. Well, they bought Ted Carter's business, so they had like
dad.
Skylar's dad. So they had like a ready-made business. They bought the clientele, they bought the equipment, everything. So they basically just picked up what Ted built.
Like we'd have to start from scratch. So
yeah,
basically, but
yeah,
who knows what's happening in a couple months.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's a lot that can happen between now and then.
Honestly, I think it would be pretty easy too because there's so many people that need their lawns mowed too. So
yeah,
it'd be an interesting experience because there was one time that Eli, I kept telling him, you know, like trying to like mentor and stuff of like, you know, you need to save some of your money and not blow it because like you've got expenses, right?
Yeah.
Like you've got to buy things like gas.
He was telling me that he has a couple bills he needs to be paying.
Well, but I meant like this was before he had a cell phone and stuff.
Oh yeah,
and he needed to buy gasoline to run the mowers because I was telling him like I'm not funding your like mowing, you know, like you know. And there was one time that he went out to mow. Do you know what story I'm getting ready to tell? So you were getting ready to go mow and you didn't have money. So what happened?
So you did like some like paper thing or whatever.
Loan contract,
and then like you go through here. This is how much this costs, and then I'd have to pay you back this in a matter of time or something like that.
Yeah. So
did you put interest on it?
I did. I did. So I was telling him like, you know, if you go to a bank and you get just like a personal loan, like the last personal loan I got, it was like some crazy interest rate. It was like 18.5%. So that's what I did. And then I was
just like a signature loan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I was like, all right, man, like now we got to do some collateral. And of course at this time he's like, what, maybe
I was like
12, 10 or 12.
Yeah.
And he's like, what is this word collateral? Like what's collateral? And I was like, well, so if you don't pay me back, you know, you gotta, you know, and so he brought me one of his airsofts. And I was like, okay, this airsoft's worth about.
I know you was crying about that, giving that away.
I was like, so this is about $20. And that's what he was, you know, I was loaning him was 20. And so I'm like, all right, so if you don't pay me back, this is mine. I'm like, you understand that. And then I told him how much the interest was and like how much he had to pay back. And he's like, whoa, wait a minute. Like, I got to pay you more money than what you gave. Like, that ain't right. I said, that's how loans work. You know, just trying to mentor to him and stuff. And he got off the hook that day because what did you do? You went to your room and
went to my room and found money just laying there.
So he went and bought gas that day. So it might be an interesting experience. I don't know if you
honestly, my work ethic is so much better because being at Sonic too, like the work is so much different. Like in the pay too, and just like honestly, what I learned last summer and what I want to apply this summer too. Honestly, I think wouldn't be that hard. So obviously, the work is hard too, in the heat but
yeah.
I remember you were saying, Eli, that Sonic kind of gave you perspective on Hood.
On how much I appreciated that.
Yeah, and so like, and what it taught you. So like, what are some things you saw from like coworkers that you were like they were like bouncing out because they didn't want to do something. You were like, seriously, like that's pretty
like
easy
at
to
Sonic,
do.
they'd be like, I get no money here. It's like the work is so hard, and I'm like, really, like really. And then, like, I had to stock all the cups. And I'm like, what? And then I do this. I get it done in like 1 minute. And then, like, everybody's gone. There's only 3 high schoolers left. And, like, the adults, too. Like, I gone on to them one time. And, like, I was doing drive-through. And then they were just sitting down. I'm like, is somebody gonna get that call? And they're like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm doing drive-through. And they're like, no, you need to get that too. I'm like, but there's things like that and how much I appreciated it. And then, like, I don't know, just.
Well, and also working with someone like Myriek that was willing to work hard as well, right? Like, not just expect you to do everything, but work with you.
Yeah.
So, like, do you see, like, maybe, like, having some perspective now of, like, some of the lessons I was trying to teach you of, like, damn, I should have listened to Dad?
And, like, also their parents probably didn't push them to, like, actually apply, I don't know, work ethic or something like that while they're working at Saudi, too, so.
Yeah, well, what you were seeing there was what I was trying to keep you from being.
Yeah.
You know, because, I mean, you saw how it made you feel. If you were that way, you were just going to do that to someone else, you know?
Yeah.
At the same time, we're working. I felt like I have just a competitive spirit, so I just feel like we're competing against everybody else. So we're just like, okay, these guys can do construction. Well, we're gonna make sure these lawns look the best and start better than them houses look that they built. So I'm sitting here. I have a competitive mindset. That's why I'm getting on. I'm like, bro, we're supposed to be, you know, so we're supposed to be Shaq and Kobe, LeBron and Pippen. You know what I'm saying? Jordan and Pippen. So like. That was my mindset. So I'm like, bro, we gotta get it together, and we're new too. We gotta show them what we
prove ourselves.
Yeah,
So, you guys got to get in on a little bit of the construction side too, though, right?
Mm-hmm.
Did we?
Yeah, a little bit.
What we do?
You guys did some flooring that,
bro.
Well, you guys asked for that job and then regretted it after the fact.
Did we ask for that?
That's what he was telling me.
I think we asked for, like, what is something we could do, and then they'd have us move wood, or really the only construction we had was taking carpet out and then putting down wood floors. So.
And then we did
painting.
that stuff at John's garage or whatever.
Yeah, putting down shingles and things like that. So.
Yeah, that was easy, but.
So, what are some things that you learned, Eli, on, like, doing construction when you were there?
It's really hard on roofs. I know that, but
yeah,
that it is.
Some shingles, boy.
But honestly, I don't know.
Do you think you could do flooring again if you had to?
Yeah, it wasn't that bad, honestly. Just trying to, like, fit around things, or Myriek could always be like, "No, that's not gonna work," and then it ends up working.
Yeah,
or
but like we were literally figuring it out ourselves because like they were showing us, but they didn't.
It wasn't
really
doing nothing.
Yeah, they really didn't show us. So we're sitting here winging it. Like, I think we got it the first time. We literally took all day and literally did half of that little kitchen. Trying to figure out.
And it's a little kitchen.
Yeah, it's a little kitchen.
And we went through 4 boxes of material trying to cut things, right?
We got stuck trying to get around this. It was this little corner or whatever.
And I felt like a scientist trying to get around that corner.
Yeah,
it was crazy.
We're sitting here doing math. Like, what is the... Yeah, what
is the square root of the 90-degree
But
angle?
then the second time we actually got it done, but then they ended up having to rip it out anyway because he wanted different flooring in there. But I've done it way more. Like, now I can do it like pretty easily now since I kept work. I still work there.
Yeah,
but yeah, it's easier now because I had somebody actually show me. Shout out to Chris, Chris W, because he's a professional.
Oh, yeah.
Professional.
Yeah,
he's like
flooring is his element.
If it was an Olympic sport, he'd be pretty good at it. He'd be in the Olympics. For sure.
That's right. So what's things for the future? Like what are your goals after Sterling College?
Sterling, I am working on a clothing brand right now, trying to get that started. And so
what's that called?
Right now it's called My God Is Love. So like the My is for like Myriek, Milo, Mile, because our first names, all of our names start with MY. So it's just My, kind of like trying to like spread the word through clothing. So I've always had to always.
You were talking about that too.
Yeah.
Sometime.
Like, yeah. Now I started it making designs and stuff, but now I'm in the midst of like actually getting it started. So I'm kind of excited about that and just football, being a dad. I'm not the type of guy to plan like what I want to do next year, what I want to do tomorrow. I go wherever God takes me wherever He wants me to be. Wherever He wants me to be is where I'm gonna go.
You can plan as much as you want, but
yeah.
at the end of the day,
if it ain't if it's His plan, and you know what I'm saying, like it wasn't my plan to be a dad of 2, married at the age of 23. It was His plan, and so wherever He goes, I go. Wherever He want me to do, that's what I'm gonna do, and so that's the plan. God's plan, my plan. So basically,
What are you what are you going to school for?
I'm going to school to be a psychologist, but I want to be a sports psychologist because I've seen like a marriage and family counseling thing, and I don't know if my real thoughts could actually be like what I actually want to say might kind of come out. You know what I'm saying? And you got to be professional, and I'm just like, I can't be sitting here listening to you because you ain't getting what you want at night. When your wife is the one doing the dishes and cleaning and taking care of the kids all day, you need to get up and help your wife, and maybe she'll reward you with something. And so, but the way
you guys supposed to be Jordan and Pippen.
Exactly. The way I would say that is not even that way I would say it, but you know what I'm saying? Like, it just wasn't like, I don't want to do the regular counseling. I'd rather be doing something I can relate to, like the athlete. Like I've been a college athlete. I've been, you know what I'm saying? I can, maybe go to the league or something as a sports psychologist and maybe not a player. Who knows? Maybe, whatever happens, happens. So that's really the plans.
What about you, Eli? After high school, what do you want to do?
Well, I've been interested in like the military, just like the tactical world, I guess. Like honestly, growing up, I was into airsoft and things like that. Just like being around guns was just my thing. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, honestly, the Marines pay for your college. I'm like, I could do that. And then I started getting into like the special operation forces, thinking about that too. And then it really, like with the way my knees are and just my body being this big, this quick, probably won't work out. So being like a park ranger and being around animals too is my thing.
Oh my!
You're gonna follow in Jansen's footsteps, man.
They're like, he was like hood construction worker, part time. What do you call it? Animal control. Like he's like, while we're working in the backyard raking, he's looking for snakes and lizards and stuff and just picking them up. I'm like, Eli, get that snake away from me right now. I am not fond of this right now. He'd be picking them up. Look, it's just a little baby gourd snake. You want to touch it? No, I don't want to touch that. He would just pick him up. He would literally chase after him. Like, Eli, come on, bro. Put that down.
Yeah, he's always been that way when it comes to. I mean, he's the animal whisperer. I mean, there's just like I don't think you ever had an animal that hasn't liked you.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But like if they ended up not liking me, I'd stay around them and then be pretty sure after that. So.
He can never catch them lizards though. I think he caught one all summer, and he was getting juked out by all the other ones.
If you could just get him to work as hard at hood construction as you did at trying to pick up animals.
I literally told him that like 60 times that summer. I said, if you would just work as hard as you just trying to catch this snake, this would be done already. Yeah.
Hey, you want to tell everybody about your favorite day at school? Speaking of that.
Well, actually, so I was in 8th grade, and then my dad called the school, and I'm like, the teacher's like, go to the office right now. I'm like, okay. And then, so I go to the office, and then they're like, I hope you like it. It's going to be fun. And then I'm like, okay. They're like, okay, your dad's in the street, go. And then I get in the car. My dad's like, okay, so I got to call.
What car? What car did you get in?
The Durango. Because my dad was working.
When people, yeah, there you go.
Yeah, so my dad was working, and he came to pick me up, and then went to the patrol car. And he's like, so I got a call, and obviously you hate snakes, so it was a snake call, and then it was like in somebody's house or something like that.
It was in the Sterling Apartments.
Yeah,
there on Washington.
And so he gets me. He's like, yeah. So it's just like I got taken out of school to get a snake, and that was like the best day ever.
Yeah,
that I actually like school.
Yeah, so we went in this lady's apartment, and then what?
They're like, get us over there, go get it.
Yeah, where was it behind?
It was behind the fridge or
there
something like that.
Right.
Yeah. And so we moved the fridge, we got it, and then
Just grabbed it by the neck.
yeah, I just grabbed it, and then
and what were the words I told you before we got in the car?
He's like, I will have no remorse. I will kill you if that gets in the car. And then and so I held it out the window, and then we went to the cemetery. We let it go, and he got some pictures or whatever, and then so yeah.
And then when I went to drop him off at school, he goes, this is my favorite day of school
I know.
ever.
That's like
He's like, I will never forget this as long as I live. Just because he got to pick up a snake, and I was like, hey, man, whatever. Because I called Mackenzie at the front desk, and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna need you to promise not to laugh at me. And she said, well, I can't promise anything. She's like, but I'll try. And I'm like, I don't like snakes. Eli loves snakes. Can I please get him out of class for like 10 minutes?
And like, I felt like a superhero too. I went to school. I flung open the door. I'm like, you guys will not believe this. And then I got on my phone and I'm like, I got taken out of school and got a snake. And they're like, no way, you're a savior or whatever. I'm like, I know, right?
Hey, girl, can I get your number? Can I get your snap?
And then,
My
so,
hero.
and then my history teacher, she's like, okay, we have to go show the other classes too. And then,
Snake man.
Yeah, cause I sent you the picture.
yeah. And then they showed them and the class was like, no way, that's awesome. And then,
I'll put the picture on the Instagram and
Yeah.
Facebook post about this episode.
Yeah, my dad's a cop, and he wanted me to get a snake because he's big too, but he's not tough enough to get it. But I am, so I'm gonna get the snake.
Well, but then shortly thereafter, remember I was at Grandma's house picking up those weeds, and
Yeah.
what I do? I sent you a picture,
well, you saw another snake and then you like freaked out or something like that.
and then did what?
Didn't you shoot it?
Yeah, in the middle of Lyons, Kansas, I pulled out a gun and shot a snake.
Pulls out his 9.
God.
Tased it. What?
You're not even gonna give me credit for this one? I sent you a picture.
Oh, you picked it. Oh,
Yes.
I remember that. And then you like said a page. It was in your hand. Okay.
Yeah, because I was like,
But it was like,
man,
it was
I gotta.
like this big too.
That's how big you are. I don't even want to hear it. All right.
He's picked up long ones too. I'm like,
Well, it was wrapped around my hand, so there's no way it was only that big. Thank you very
yeah.
much. But I was just thinking, I was like, man, I gotta get over this. Like, I gotta confront this. I'm like, it's a gardener snake. Like, it's not gonna kill me. You know, I gotta, and I did it. And I was like,
Faced his fear.
I gotta take a picture and send it to Eli.
What about you when you picking up a snake?
I'm not. Snakes is the devil. Snakes is the devil.
Yeah.
Snake
So,
and freaking.
But yet he still doesn't let me have a snake either.
dude, you are not bringing a snake in my house. End of story. Not happening. You did it once without me knowing, until your brother narked you out.
Hey, no, I'm not messing with snakes.
I'm not even joking, man. Like I told Eli like several times on things like what's like that snake, and I was like, if you let that snake in my car, Eli, I was like, I will shoot you. I just want you to know, like I will shoot you.
I don't know why anybody would want to mess with them things. Anyway.
Honestly, they're not that bad either. They're just
Dude,
lizards without legs.
Well, when he was younger,
Oh my god.
that's why he can
He
catch
doesn't
him.
like lizards either.
I know.
Well, like when he was younger, like 8, 9, you know, in that area, and he started like really. I'm like Eli, like you don't know the difference between ones that are like venomous and ones that aren't. Like
Which
you
I
need to,
did.
you did, you like you need to be careful. You know,
He knows it all, remember?
Yeah.
Come on.
Eli knows
Come
everything.
on.
You know, anymore when he starts doing that stuff, what do I look at you and I'm just like, okay,
Go for
and
it.
you and then you were like,
And then
what?
Yeah, and then I just quit. So
I basically had a zoology class with him. He was telling me all about the spiders we ran into. This is a brown
No.
recluse. I didn't know what a brown recluse was until he told you about it. I'm like, okay.
You catch spiders? No? You're not a spider fan?
He does not like spiders.
Oh, but one of our picking up wood that's been sitting outside for I don't know
I
how
wouldn't
long.
touch it if there's spiders on it.
Yeah, them brown recluses, whatever it is.
So you draw the line at spiders, but everything else is cool.
Yeah, everything's fine.
Crawl spaces. That's a place you would not want to go.
no.
I found plenty of spiders in crawl spaces. I never ran into snakes, luckily. I don't like
Yeah.
snakes either.
Well, it's cold down there too, so
Yeah.
you won't see many.
I know a lot of times people find snakes down in crawl spaces. And
Heck no.
Yeah, so we
you
kind
can't
of
get out of there quick enough.
got off on a tangent. Why do you want to be a park ranger?
I don't know. I guess I'm good with animals too. Like I never found a difficulty with that. But also just like being in my own world is kind of my thing too. Like just imagine me walking through the mountains, like trying to help people too. I like helping people. Which what park rangers do. They can walk the trails. They help people and animals. But yeah.
So you want to move to Colorado? Is that like,
Yeah, either
you wanna-
Montana, Colorado. But there's also like being around in Florida too. They have like things like that too. But
Well, what?
There's some big snakes in Florida.
oh yeah,
You won't catch those
Gators,
snakes, I
what?
promise.
I say the snakes will pull you in.
yeah.
They'll be getting some dang dinosaurs in Florida.
What were one of the, speaking of the park ranger and like your own world, what were one of the coping mechanisms that you like to decompress when you did get elevated? That
Well, usually I go on like walks too. Which
just like being outside.
Yeah,
that was kind of
so-
your jam, right? So that kind of helped. That's like when you do get angry or sad or whatever. That's like kind of your place,
Yeah.
which we discussed scares me to death because you just disappear and then you won't answer your phone. and then your crappy ass iPhone sometimes doesn't update its location.
Oh, there's nothing wrong with iPhone.
You said that until
Android
we got
people,
one.
man. What you got, Android?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Crappy.
I got the
Androids.
superior one. It's a
Exactly.
Google Pixel 6.
My mom just
Superior.
got an iPhone finally.
But yeah,
And
like,
like Android talkers, they always talk trash on them until they get them. They're like, "Oh, this is not that bad."
Exactly.
you know, I mean, honestly, like if you want a phone that's just user friendly and it works and it does what you want, like
Yeah,
I
true.
recommend iPhone. Like if you old as hell and you don't want to do anything fun with it, but like if you want like a powerhouse phone that's like got configurability and like I don't have to pay for ringtones on my phone, I just put it on there. Like, you know,
Yeah,
I don't
Android,
like that
yeah.
kind of stuff. You know,
Yeah.
95% of people don't even know what he was talking about. So
Yeah.
that's true. Like, yeah, if you didn't know what I was talking about, buy
Configurability,
iPhone.
what?
But if you didn't know what I was saying, buy iPhone. But so like if you gonna have any more kids?
Me? I really want a girl. I don't know why. Don't tell me why. It's hard to make girls in my family. There's like so many boys. There's so many boys, and there's only like a few girls. Like I can probably count on my fingers how many girl cousins I have. So it's hard to have girls, but I think I could do it. I hope I can do it. I'm just praying that God just give me one. My mom always wanted a girl too, but she got 3 boys. My dad has 2 boys, 3 boys, and more. He has more boys than girls. No, he has more girls than boys. So I'm thinking there might be a slight chance, maybe,
Yeah,
I can have one.
So we had Eli first, and then we had Alex next. Then we tried again, and like that sonogram, and they were like, "It's a girl." I was like, "Yes,
Dude,
yes."
Whenever I find out I have a girl, I'm dropping to my knees crying. When she comes out, I'm going to be bawling. I hope I can have one, but I'm not going to be,
Mr. Protective then.
I'm getting me. If you don't know, you won't know. I'm getting me 2 pairs of black Air Force Ones. I'm getting me, gun, sword. You know what I'm saying? So, cameras.
Later on, you're gonna get a phone call, Eli, and he's gonna be like, "Hey, Eli, my daughter's going on her first date. Can you come over?" Eli's gonna be like, "Hey, yo, what up? I'm Eli from the hood."
Like the boys, I love the boys, but when I have a girl, the boys can be thrown out, and she's getting anything she wants. I just
See,
want a girl.
I'm not the only one.
I just want a girl.
There's just something about it, man. I'm just telling you.
The boys get the tough love. Don't get me wrong, but I don't know.
Oh, you ain't never got no tough love, right? Never.
Yeah, but I mean, I love my boys though. Right
He pleads
now.
the 5th.
Yeah, he pleads the 5th.
Yeah, that's right, because he's got to get a ride home. That's why.
I'll
I'll
love.
I'll
give you a ride home.
I could just walk to grandma's.
Well, that's kind of we're already at like an hour and a half. So, anything else? Like, so you're starting your like clothing brand and stuff. So, like, if people want to like reach out to you, see what you're doing, follow what you're doing, like how do they do that?
Dang, what is my Instagram?
I don't know.
I'm really just on Instagram. My Instagram, they'll probably have to put it.
Do you have like a website or anything for your clothing line?
Not
or
yet.
whatever?
I'm trying to get the clothes made and everything made first.
Well, if you want to start a website, I can help you with that. Let me know.
Yeah, I'm thinking about Shopify. Me and Nate were talking about it
Yeah.
the other day.
But I mean, as far as like
Oh,
getting
yeah.
a domain name and hooking it to your Shopify and stuff, like I can help you with that.
Okay, cool bit. Yeah, I just need a little bit. I got some connections and stuff right now.
Cool.
But just working on getting it
So-
like launched to get the clothes, see the material, stuff like that. It's kind of hard starting your own business. It's
Yeah.
like,
Especially that business. I mean,
yeah, but like,
Very competitive.
yeah. That's what I was thinking.
yeah, I'm just talking to God one day.
You're gonna have to start another one soon.
Yeah.
Mowing.
What? That's crazy.
Just to let you know, you're gonna definitely be a boss and employee. Don't like half and half that.
Yeah. He knows. We have to establish that too. But yeah, it's kind of hard starting your own business. Like, there's a lot that goes into it. Like, I mean, Next Gen Nate here can probably tell you what you got to go
Next
through.
Gen Nate, dude. That's what your phone contact is gonna be from here on out.
That's what he's been calling me for the last
Yeah.
2 weeks.
I love it. I love it.
Next Gen Nate. Yeah,
And we've talked a lot about hood construction on this podcast. This is not an advertisement for hood construction.
Yeah. No, this is Next Gen Nate up here. But yeah, there's a lot that goes into it. Just like starting it and getting it launched, like it takes a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I'm hoping like I can like feed my kids off of this, so I'm kind of putting a lot into it.
Just wait until you get into forming LLCs and insurance and employees and having to deal with the government on everything.
Yeah.
And if you want to send your overseas, paying excise taxes. And...
Yeah, I'm like most of like the manufacturers and stuff that make like clothing and stuff now, like they're all like in Pakistan. So me reaching out to them, being able to be like, how do you receive pay? Like, and it was crazy because the brand I was talking to, like, it was like some app I was using, but like he said send him like $9 for a shirt or something like that, and $9 is like $2,400 something wherever they're at. Mm-hmm. I'm like, geez, what is wrong with America? Why can't it be vice versa? Like, dang, $9 equals $2,433 for this? That's crazy. I just sent him $9 and he's $2,000 richer.
Yeah.
Like,
well, the exchange rate. Yeah.
The exchange rate. I'm like, that's crazy. Must be nice, ain't it?
Well, that means their money's not worth as much as ours.
Well, I don't know. I just wish I had $2,433 at the time.
Yeah, but in order for that role to be reversed,
but that only,
he's got to send you like 500,000 of his dollars.
Yeah, he comes here and he's broke.
He's got to spend $2,500 of his dollars. On a $9 shirt.
Yeah. But so learning all that stuff is cool, weird at the same time. Talking to people too, like I'm not one to just reach out to anybody and be like, hey, like I don't even like asking for help, so that you know what I'm saying. But it's cool, like having to reach out to people, just actually talk to people, and like how to start your own brand, how to do your own stuff is cool. So yeah.
What was your Instagram? Did you find it?
Oh, it's Myriek Goodwin-Lagree, just my name. I thought it was something else. Yeah, it's just Myriek _Goodwin-Lagree, no hyphen in that.
If you follow the Higher Points, follow our Instagram, and we'll just tag you in the post.
I don't even follow you guys.
Damn, man, we got you on the podcast. We're gonna delete this and start over.
Yeah. Add me back in the year, and that.
Because the reason that I like to reach out to that is because we had Janine Long on here, and she was talking about issues that she had with insurance.
Yeah.
She's a licensed clinical professional counselor, and she had a lady from an insurance company that listened to the podcast because she recognized her name and reached out to her and was like, "Hey, let me help you with that," and helped her out.
Yeah.
So Eli, people want to follow you. Where did you reach out and follow you?
Well, I guess I have Snapchat, obviously, but
you got an Instagram too.
If you want to share them, share them. If you don't, don't.
Well, my Snapchat, it's Fuzz aka Eli.
Who? I was to say you gotta enunciate.
Fuzz aka Eli, which Fuzz is my old football name, but
Fuzz.
Is there any underscores or anything? Or
it's because he had a mustache when he was 11.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh,
dude, no. I was there. This dude had a mustache when he came out.
6'5", 5th grader.
So is it Fuzz? It's Fuzz, aka Eli. But is there any underscores or anything? So it's just all together.
My Instagram, I think that has underscores.
Yeah, Fuzz. I think Instagram's Fuzz _ aka _ Eli. Mm-hmm. If I remember correctly.
Well, like my Instagram.
You have Instagram now?
I've had Instagram.
He doesn't really do much other than watch car videos on it.
Yeah, but mine is Fuzz _ aka Eli, or Fuzz _ aka _ Eli.
Okay, cool. Well, fellas, we appreciate you guys coming on here and taking the time to be with us and share your experiences. And
it's fun.
I just want to say, Eli, you've made pretty significant progress in the last, year, maybe last couple years, but last year for sure. We still got some things we're working through. Yeah. We butt heads from time to time. But, I just want to let you know, I love you and keep up the good work. And I'm looking forward to seeing what the world brings for you, And Myriek, I just want to tell you, man, just keep knocking it out of the park when it comes to being a present father and stuff. I just can't tell you how much I respect that. And just, like you said, you and your wife are kind of further along than most 23-year-olds. Just keep that trend going and just make sure, you keep breaking those chains, set your kids up for success, and then make sure that they don't break that chain.
Yeah.
Definitely don't break that chain. Mm-hmm. So, with that, I'll wrap it up. Hey, everybody, thanks for listening to the Higher Points podcast. this is a really fun to record, and having my son on here. And then I knew when Nate said, let's get Myriek on here, I was like, yes, let's just get that done. Amazing. Let's do it. And so I appreciate you taking the time to be with us and sharing your time with us. If you could just take a moment real quick and just share this podcast, put it on your story, put it on your Facebook wall, whatever you need to do, just to get the message out there and just kind of help us get people listening. We appreciate it. You can check us out at www.thehigherpoints.com, on Instagram at The Higher Points, and on Facebook at The Higher Points Podcast. Don't forget, we are renting out the podcast studio. So if you want to, use the studio or learn about the equipment, or maybe even record a couple episodes, or even like, if you want to record some sort of a commercial spot for something too, it's a lot cheaper to do it here than you would be to go to a radio station or something like that. Just reach out to us on the contact page on our website that I mentioned earlier. So thanks for taking the time to be with us, guys. We'll catch up with you next time.
See you guys.
Bye.
Peace.